Hey guys, welcome back. It's time for a new review. There's a new Sevendust album, so let's get into it. So let me start by saying that I've always been into these new metal bands like Papa Roach, Korn, System of a Down, Nickelback. I like that album, Silver Side Up. That was a good album. But for some reason or another, I never really got into Sevendust. I know like some of their songs, their earlier stuff, but I never really listened to their later albums. So that's kind of like where I'm coming at from doing this review. Okay, so let's first take a look into a brief history of the band. Sevendust is an American rock band that formed in 1994. Their sound is hard to categorize. They have been called nu metal, alternative metal, hard rock, and heavy metal. They released their self-titled debut in 1997 and have been releasing albums since. They have a total of 13 studio albums. The album we're going to review today is called Blood and Stone. It's the 13th release from Sevendust. This band, it's a hard-working band, and they're very consistent. They've been releasing albums since their debut. They never take more than 3 years to put out an album, which is really good compared to some other bands. Their sound has evolved over the years. When they first came out, they had like a harder sound, more like a Slipknot or a Korn. But later they evolved into more of like a post-grunge hard rock sounds, more along the lines of Breaking Benjamin. Let's go into a track-by-track analysis of the new Sevendust album, Blood and Stone. The first track is Dying to Live. It starts off with this heavy nu metal riff. It goes into some melodic vocals. It's really a great album opener. The next track is Love. This has some like poppy electronica intro. It's melodic. There's some pretty cool like overlaying tones. This track is pretty good. Next is Blood from a Stone. This one has these like heavy Korn inspired riffs. It's melodic, some really good vocals on this one. Pretty cool track. Feel Like Going On is a little more laid back, a little bit more of like a Breaking Benjamin vibe. It's melodic, it's catchy, not a headbanging song, but it's a good listen. What You've Become has some heavy riffs in the intro. It's a little more of a harder song. Reminds me a little bit of like Disturbed. This is a little more of a rocker, so I like this one a lot. Kill Me is a little more laid back. Has some like electronica, that type of vibe. Maybe like a little bit of like a Nine Inch Nails. It's laid back, but it's an okay song. Nothing Left to See Here. It's a little more pop oriented. It's a little more laid back. To be honest with you, at this point, I'm getting a little bored. I guess there really is nothing left to see here. Desperation. This is how I felt after those last few songs. But this one is a little harder, has a chugging riff, almost a little bit into a thrash territory. So I guess I like this one a lot better now. Criminal is a good song. It's pretty cool. It has a little bit of a pop influence, but also some like post-grunge. So it's a pretty cool song. Against the World is a little heavier. Maybe, again, a little bit more of like a Korn sound. This one I like a lot. It's one of the better songs on the album and has a really cool breakdown at the end, too. Alone is a laid-back ballad. It has some pretty cool, clean guitars, but it gets a little heavy at the end. Wish You Well is a nu metal song, but also has some pop elements to it. The final track is The Day I Tried to Live. This is a cover of a Soundgarden song. It's a faithful cover. Soundgarden is not a really easy band to cover, being that Chris Cornell was one of like the greatest singers of that era. But I think they did a pretty good job on it. So I probably didn't like the album too much at first. I was expecting something heavier. Maybe it's because I was more accustomed to hearing their earlier stuff and I never really gave the band a chance. But I think it might be an album that might be able to grow on you. The album creates an interesting atmosphere. It has a lot of like underlying tones, some pretty cool melody, some sounds, some different like experimentation. I think if you listen to it a little more, it would definitely grow on you. So for those reasons, I'm going to rank it as 7 out of 10. I was thinking of doing it lower, but I think that's a decent score for now. Maybe in a couple of weeks, if I listen to it a little more, I might want to rank it higher, but that's my score for now. Please let me know what you think of this album in the comments section. Maybe some people liked it a lot more than I did. Maybe you didn't like it, maybe they think it's a weaker album. If you're someone who is more familiar with Sevendust's catalog, how does it stand up against their other albums? So please let me know. Okay, that's all for this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I do reviews on rock and metal. I do classic album reviews, and I review new albums. So please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. My next two videos will be some classic album reviews. There will be two of the Black Sabbath albums from the Ronnie James Dio era. So stay tuned for that coming up this week. Other than that, see you later. Keep rocking.